Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Bob Lamendola, Senior Vice President of Technology and Head of North America Digital Services Center at Ricoh, to discuss how cybersecurity affects and impacts different work environments. It is great to have you with us, Bob. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
You got it. And what are you seeing as the key cyber threats to a business?
So I still look at people as being sort of the weak link, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it's raising awareness and having everybody be sensitized to what their impact on security. Typically, phishing attacks are the most common way still as we see it today. So it's really about raising awareness to make sure users and people understand their requirements and how they contribute to an overall secure environment. You have to fortify that, but purely people and awareness is really where you have to focus in most organizations.
How does cybersecurity affect and impact different work environments?
So hybrid is here to stay. It's permanent, and it's not that it's new, it's just that it's supercharged now. And the way in which people work in various environments and really need to move around a lot, you have to have security follow the end user, follow the edge device, because at the end of the day, like water, it'll always find its weakest link. So security always looks for the most vulnerable piece, and that's typically at the edge of the networks.
What are the key areas that leaders should focus on when developing cybersecurity strategies?
Sure. Centers around people, process, technology. Again, I mentioned before about awareness with people, making sure that everybody's understanding of their role and responsibility. Process, to make sure you have a clear understanding of security principles. Make sure you have an instant response process that's really well thought out. And then technology, starting from the crown jewels of data, moving out. Make sure you have layered capabilities in technology. So it's people, education, training, awareness. Process, security, incident management, making sure you have an active program, and then technology, making sure you're protecting data, and then moving out as you go farther in your network and your infrastructure.
And you had mentioned at the top that people, of course, are the front line. What are some of the challenges businesses are facing with cybersecurity, and where do these attacks usually start?
Yeah, the attacks usually start at the endpoint, the user. You have to do the basics. You have to do the hygiene in networks. You have to patch and do all the normal things. That's an IT thing. But people, because they get attacked every day, and the sophistication of phishing attacks have gone way beyond, and the advent of AI and how real it is to create hallucinated events or impersonated events really is a challenge for end users. So raising the awareness, making sure you have the right tools for the customer, for the end users to understand, but constantly going back to them and reminding them what their role and responsibility is. It's what we challenge with every day and what we talk to our customers about as well.
Let's take a step back for a moment here. You had said when it comes to patches and the weekly updates that we have to make on our computers and so forth, that's an IT thing. I think a lot of times cybersecurity is lumped into that tech umbrella. If you could just tell us what the distinction is from IT versus cyber.
Very good. Cybersecurity, you have to have a cybersecurity program and a team. You identify who's going to respond. That's the programmatic part of it. Oversees and has responsibility. But the IT teams are responsible for the hygiene of the systems, patching the systems, make sure security procedures are in place, make sure they're being followed. The security team acts as a counterbalance to the infrastructure team. Security oversees and looks what's going on, and constantly using vulnerability management program to look to see where the weaknesses may exist. The infrastructure team that has to plug those holes and make sure we're addressing those appropriately.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Even more important, what's the financial impact of security breaches? You have to report this to your shareholders and to your community at some point.
Very public right now, because there's a lot of things going on with what happened with SolarWinds, and it's a very dangerous situation, meaning you have a responsibility to report immediately, and it's heightened in terms of that awareness. So the financial impact could be devastating. Right now, there's a higher awareness to shut down systems that may be vulnerable. That has an impact. That has a business impact. But worse yet, if the data gets compromised, it's even a greater impact. So you have to be able to react quickly. That's a financial impact. The company needs to aware, the CEO needs to be aware, the board of directors need to be aware. Number two is reporting, self-reporting, being aware, reporting accurately, even if you don't have all the details, at least making awareness known, because if you lag on that, you're going to put yourself in a really difficult spot and trying to go back. And so it really, I'd say the heightened awareness to be able to not just react and respond and react to the financial situation, but also be responsible and communicate to your customers when you may have a potential issue.
And finally, Bob, what should investors be mindful of when evaluating cybersecurity risk of potential investments?
Sure. Ask specifically who owns security in the company, and is there an executive level sponsorship? Meaning, is it reported up to the senior management team or the executive level? Are they aware? Are they participating? Are they supportive? If you can ask those questions and don't get a clear answer, meaning it's not at the highest level of the company, you should be concerned. Second for that is is what is the overall process? What is the response process? Every company must need an instant response. I don't care if you're an SMB business or an enterprise. You must have a response process that's certified and validated. Equally important, you have to do tabletop exercises. If you can't prove that you're doing some simulated exercises, then when a real incident happens, you're really chasing your tail. So those are the things that if you're an investor, ask those key questions. If you get answers that don't make you feel comfortable, I would be concerned.
All right. Appreciate the insight, Bob. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
You
I'm
bet.
Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill. Bye-bye.